Hi, welcome. Here's our HMH lesson for today. Today we are focusing on figurative language. We've had a lot of this in our, on our tests. I'm sorry, I went totally blank. On our tests recently, we had a whole extensive lesson about it and watched videos. So I'm just going to quickly review. Figurative language makes writing colorful and interesting. Some different kinds of figurative language are similes, hyperboles, and idiom. Everyone say simile. Simile compares two things, and it uses the words like or as. She's as busy as a bee. That's a simile. Good job. We also have hyperbole. Everyone say hyperbole. A hyperbole is a statement that is so crazy it can't be true. Her smile was as wide as a mile. Can your smile really be as wide as a mile? No. So it's not a simile. Her smile was, yeah, but it's not a simile because you can't, it's not a true comparison. It's more of something impossible. It's more of a hyperbole. But I know why you can get confused. That does make sense. All right, the next one is idiom. An idiom is a phrase that means something different from what its everyday meaning is. So if I said it was raining cats and dogs, does that mean cats and dogs are falling out of the sky? No, it's an idiom. It means that it's raining hard. If you say I'm as hungry as a horse, that means I'm so hungry I can eat a horse. That means you're super hungry. You're not going to eat a horse, are you? No. Ew, I hope not. All right, anyway, so that is figurative language. We're going to be reading the story Trombone Shorty. When we read the story, we're going to be filling out the reading graphic organizer that's in your reading packet. It says figurative language, reading graphic organizer. We're going to write down what the words say, draw a picture, and what it really means. We'll get to that later. Before we start reading the story, let's go over some vocabulary words. The first vocabulary word is culture. We talked about culture yesterday. A group's culture is the ideas and beliefs people share. The reason they have a pole with different flags is because these are the flags of different countries, different cultures. Harmony. What did we say harmony, Matt?
Harmony is
peace. Peaceful. Living in harmony. They're living peaceful. They have a picture of everybody standing next to each other and around the earth, and how they all look different and they live in harmony. We had heritage. We said that here there's a picture of the White House, and there are fireworks, and they're red, white, and blue, so I'm assuming it's for the 4th of July. A country's heritage is its way of doing things that is passed on over time, the way it does things over time. All right, one of the new words is brass. Brass. Brass is objects are made of shiny metal. So we enjoy the music from the brass instrument section of the band. So that's brass, shiny metal. What is brass?
shiny metal.
Good job. Styles. Styles. Here it looks like the kids have different styles. Styles are different ways of doing something. So here, this person learns mostly by touching. She's touching. This one, two different styles of learning. Or people wear their hair in many styles. She has her hair halfway up. She has her hair straight with a headband. He has dreadlocks. He has gel in his hair. And she has her hair in natural and pretty. So those are different styles. Combined. Here it looks like they're combining ingredients to bake. When things are combined, they are mixed together. We combine the ingredients before we mix to make a cake. Mattered. Mattered. Something that mattered was important. So arriving at school at time matters. It is important. Beaten. Beaten. Something beaten up is broken or too old to use. The playground is so beaten up and old that it does not look safe. Beaten. And the last one is proudly. The man is smiling in front of the American flag proudly. If something is done proudly, it's done with respect. The soldier proudly displayed his ribbons. Proudly. It's done with respect. All right, and then we're going to stop there. We'll do this word later. Let's go ahead and start reading the story.
Trombone Shorty by Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews. Illustrated by Caldecott Honor winner Brian Collier. Trombone Shorty. Words by Troy Trombone Shorty.
This story is not in your HMH books. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. They are not in your HMH books.
Where yat? Where yat?
What does it mean?
Where you at?
Where you at? Good job. Let's write that down on the figurative language. Words, what the words say. The word says, where ya? Write that down. I'll put it here. Where ya? Make sure you use the apostrophe here. You don't really have to draw a picture. That's fine. We'll go back to that later. But what does the word really mean? Where are you at? So you're going to write that where it says what the word really means. Where are you at? Again, we are filling in. That's fine. You know how it looks. It's a line. So, you are filling out your reading graphic organizer as we're going. We're on figurative language. It's reading graphic organizer 26. And again, what does it really mean? Where are you at? All right, let's read.
We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans, and our own way of talking, too. And that's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend hello. So, where you at? Lots of kids have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story of how I got mine. Just like when you listen to your favorite song, let's start at the beginning. Because this is a story about music.
So that's what you say. That's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend hello. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean, it means to tell a friend hello. So add that on there. Where it says what the word really means, it means to tell a friend hello. All right. You can add it or erase it. Doesn't matter. But to tell a friend hello needs to be added there. You can do that now. Pause the video now. Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Okay.
But before you can understand how much music means to me, you have to know how important it is to my hometown, my greatest inspiration. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Treme. Any time of day or night, you could hear music floating in the air. And there was music in my house, too. My big brother, James, played the trumpet so loud you could hear him halfway across town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend to be in the band, too. Follow me, James would say. There's one time every year that's more exciting than any other. Mardi Gras. Parades fill the streets and beaded necklaces are thrown through the air to the crowd. I loved the brass bands with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instrument of them all, the tuba, which rested over the musician's head like an elephant's trunk. Where yat? Where yat? The musicians would call.
Hello, hello.
All day long, I could see brass bands parade by my house while my neighbors danced along. I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone forget about their troubles for a little while. People didn't have a lot of money in Treme, but we always had a lot of music.
I wonder why it's so slow. Okay.
I listened to all these sounds and mixed them together, just like how we make our food. We take one big pot and throw in sausage, crab, shrimp, chicken, vegetables, rice, whatever's in the kitchen, and stir it all together and let it cook. When it's done, it's the most delicious taste you've ever tried. We call it gumbo, and that's what I wanted my music to sound like. Different styles combined to create my own musical gumbo.
Remember yesterday we talked about that?
Yeah.
We talked about how in Louisiana, in their culture, they eat gumbo. And it's like when they mix whatever is in the fridge together. Most of the time it has okra in it or shrimp. It's really good. It's like a soup or a stew. So, what does the author mean when he says that he wants his music to sound like a musical gumbo? What does that mean? Like, what does he want his music to sound like? Like shrimp? Good, good. Good, good. And also the gumbo has all kinds of things mixed together. And maybe in his music, he wants all kinds of sounds or music mixed together. All right, let's read.
But first, I needed an instrument. The great thing about music is that you don't even need a real instrument to play. So my friends and I decided to make our own. We might have sounded different from the real brass bands, but we felt like the greatest musicians of Treme. We were making music, and that's all that mattered. Then, one day, I found a broken trombone that looked too beaten up to make music anymore. It didn't sound perfect, but finally, with a real instrument in my hand, I was ready to play.
Why couldn't they all have real instruments? Because no, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Why not, Brenaya? They couldn't afford it. They didn't have that kind of money. All right, let's read.
The next time the parade went by my house, I grabbed that trombone and headed out into the street. My brother James noticed me playing along and smiled proudly. "Trombone Shorty," he called out, because the instrument was twice my size. "Where ya at?"
So he called him Trombone Shorty. Let's write that down. Trombone Shorty. Sorry, it's behind my head. You can't see it. There we go. Now I've moved. On the second column, we already filled out the first column, right? Yeah. Yes, we did. We wrote "Where you at?" Did you not do that? Okay, come here. Show me your paper. Okay. You were supposed to write "Where you at?" here, and then here to say to tell hello. So what the word says, what it really means. What the word says, what it really means. Get it? Sorry, my head's annoying again. So what does Trombone Shorty mean? Why does he call him that? Good. So let's write he calls him that because the trombone is twice his size. Mm-hmm. Oh no, class.
Yes.
If you have a question, raise your hand. All right.
From that day on, everyone called me Trombone Shorty. I took that trombone everywhere I went and never stopped playing. I was so small that sometimes I fell right over to the ground because it was so heavy. But I always got back up, and I learned to hold it up high. I listened to my brother play songs over and over, and I taught myself those songs too. I practiced day and night, and sometimes I fell asleep with my trombone in my hands. One day,
Why do you guys think he fell asleep with the trombone in his hands? Very good, because he was so tired.
my mom surprised me with tickets to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, the best and biggest music festival in town. We went to see Bo Diddley, who my mom said was one of the most important musicians of all time. As I watched him on stage, I raised my trombone to my lips and started to play along. He stopped his band in the middle of the song and asked the crowd, "Who's that playing out there?"
Oh, wow. He's got some attention now. Let's see.
Everyone started pointing. but Bo Diddley couldn't see me because I was the smallest one in the place. So my mom held me up in the air and said, "That's my son, Trombone Shorty." "Well, Trombone Shorty, come on up here," Bo Diddley said.
Wow, that's awesome.
The crowd passed me overhead until I was standing on the stage next to Bo Diddley himself. I walked right up to the microphone and held my trombone high up in the air, ready to blow. "What do you want to play?" Bo Diddley asked. "Follow me," I said. After I played with Bo Diddley, I knew I was ready to have my own band. I got my friends together, and we called ourselves the 5 o'clock band because that was the time we went out to play each day after finishing our homework.
So what did they call them?
The 5 o'clock band.
So what the story says is 5 o'clock band. So right here, you're going to write, in the last box, you're going to write 5 o'clock band. And no, it's band, B-A-N-D. And why did they call them the 5 o'clock band? Ooh, Justin.
Because whenever they finish their homework at 5 o'clock, they go play off.
Very good. Write that here in this box. They called them the 5 o'clock band is because that's when they went out to practice. That's the time. Why they called them the 5 o'clock band. All right, go ahead and do that and pause the video now. So what did Trombone Shorty do after he played the trumpet on stage in New Orleans? What did he decide to do? Very good. Next time, raise your hand. Make his own band. Very good. And why did you think he finally built the courage to make his own band? Raise your hand. Dustin? No. The question is, listen to the question. Why did he build the courage to make his own band, Leah? Very good, because he realized he was actually really good at playing the trumpet. All right, let's keep going.
We played all around New Orleans. I practiced, and soon my brother James asked me to join his band. When people wondered who the kid in his band was, he'd proudly say, "That's my little brother, Trombone Shorty. Where ya at?" And now I have my own band, called Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue, named after a street in Treme. I've played all around the world, but I always come back to New Orleans. And when I'm home, I make sure to keep my eyes on the younger musicians in town and help them out, just like my brother did for me.
Very nice. So look, he went to Paris and he traveled the world. He went all over the world. And he's super famous, but he always went back to New Orleans. This is a picture of New Orleans.
Today, I play at the same New Orleans Jazz Festival where I once played with Bo Diddley. And when the performance ends, I lead a parade of musicians around, just like I used to do in the streets of Treme with my friends. Where ya at? Where ya at? I still keep my trombone in my hands, and I will never let it go.
Here's the author's note. I like to say that the city of New Orleans raised me. In Treme, music was everywhere, from church to the street to my very own home. My grandfather, Jesse Hill, was a musician, and my brother, James, was a musician, and I wanted to be just like them. There were people always coming and going from my house, but music was a thing we had in common. No matter how tough things got, listening to music always made me feel better. When I was very young, my neighborhood friends and I pretended that we were like the brass bands that would parade down our streets. And because we couldn't afford instruments, we really did make them out of whatever we could find. The box from a 12-pack of soda would be fastened around the neck with the Mardi Gras beads and becomes a drum, and a pencil becomes the drumsticks. I used to hoist an old bag of wheel bicycle over my shoulders and pretend it was a tuba. Here's a picture of him in real life, and this is a picture of him and his little brother. That's him when he was young and his older brother playing the trumpet in the streets of New Orleans. And this is him now. Get out of the video, please. And this is him now. Okay. Everyone says he's so cute. Alright, anyway, so that's all we're doing today. Make sure you filled out the graphic organizer. Take a picture of it, turn it in. And make sure you finish the prefixes miss worksheet. Turn that in, and that's all we're doing today. I'll see you later. Bye.